The U.S. saves the second airman whose fighter jet is shot down over Iran in President Donald Trump's daring rescue mission. In Hong Kong, Finance Chief Paul Chen says the local IPO market has raked in over $103 billion in the first quarter, keeping the world's #1 crown. And we'll take a look at how tomb sweeping tradition helps the departed get wired on the living world's technology and money crazes. Good evening, you're watching Cable News. I'm Jeremy Zhu. United States President Donald Trump has confirmed that American forces have rescued a second pilot in Iran, calling it one of the most daring missions in the nation's history. The pilot had ejected from a downed F-15E and landed in rugged mountains, where he was briefly pursued by the Iranians. He was injured but safely evacuated. According to Trump, the military tracked the pilot's location and deployed dozens of aircraft and helicopters armed with advanced weapons. The mission was led by special forces and completed under heavy air cover. The president stressed that both rescues were carried out without U.S. casualties, marking the first time 2 pilots have been saved deep inside enemy territory. Reports say the first F-15 pilot was rescued a day earlier, though the U.S. kept it secret to protect the second operation. During the mission, 1 American aircraft was shot down by Iran's Revolutionary Guard in Isfahan province, sparking fierce clashes. The incident began on April 3rd when an F-15E and an A-10 attack jet were downed in Iranian airspace, marking the first U.S. warplanes lost in the Middle Eastern War. Iran had offered rewards for capturing the pilots alive, heightening tensions. Meanwhile, Donald Trump has given Iran 48 hours to make a deal on reopening the Strait of Hormuz or face all hell. But Iran warned that if the U.S. and Israel escalate their attacks, the entire Middle East region will become hell. Jamie Liu reports.
In its latest attacks on Iranian industries, the Israeli military struck major petrochemical plants in the southwestern city of Mashhad. Israel accused the sites of producing materials for explosives and ballistic missiles for Tehran. Iran's state media also reported that a projectile hit near the Bushehr nuclear power plant, killing 1 person, prompting a Russian state-owned firm to evacuate nearly 200 workers there. In a social media post, Trump said time was running out on his 10-day deadline for Iran to strike a deal or reopen the Strait of Hormuz. He said Tehran has 48 hours left to heed his demand or face all hell. Veering between threats and hints about diplomatic progress, Trump had earlier extended a deadline to bomb Iran's power plants to April 6. Reuters reported that Israel was preparing to attack Iranian energy facilities and was waiting for a green light from the U.S. In response, a top Iranian commander called the threat a helpless, nervous, unbalanced, and stupid action. Echoing Trump's language, the commander warned if the U.S. and Israel expand their hostilities, the entire region will become hell for them. Jamie Liu, Cable News.
Back to Hong Kong, Financial Secretary Paul Chen said Hong Kong's financial markets and real economy both fared well in the first quarter, with IPO fundraising topping $103 billion to lead the world. Bess Leung reports.
Despite market sentiment being clouded by ongoing Middle East tensions, Chen said local equities are simply undergoing a pullback amid brisk trading. Average daily turnover surpassed $300 billion in March, more than 8% higher than a year earlier. On new listings, Chen noted that first quarter IPOs raised over $103 billion, again the highest globally, and together with follow-on offerings, lifted total equity fundraising to about $237 billion. Some 500 applications are in the pipeline, with a growing share from emerging industries such as artificial intelligence and semiconductors, showing how a murkier external environment is pushing more companies to use Hong Kong as a key window for financing and going global. Meanwhile, the finance chief said local economy also improved in the first quarter, with goods exports jumping nearly 30% in the first 2 months and underscoring Hong Kong's trade hub role, thanks to recovering global electronics demand and a reconfigured regional supply chain. Over the same period, retail sales rose nearly 11% to extend a 10-month growth streak, with daily spending rebounded and online sales climbing more than 27%. The labor market also stayed firm as jobless rate edged down to 3.8% and hiring picked up in retail and catering. Best Lang Cable News.
Under the influence of a low-pressure trough, the observatory has once issued the amber rain warning signal in the afternoon. But the heavy rainy weather failed to stop Hong Kongers from honoring their ancestors on Ching Ming Festival, also known as the Tomb Sweeping Day in English. Despite the downpours, crowds made their way up the hills to pay their respects. Devoted daughters and sons and dutiful grandchildren carried large bags of offerings, clothing, flowers, and other items, and took the escalator to the cemetery and columbarium at Cape Collinson in Taiwan. This man said he and his family arrived slightly late, but brought everything needed. The whole process took about 10 minutes, which he described as orderly, with fewer people than expected. This woman explained that her extended family, numbering around 30 to 40 people, usually gathers on the festival day itself, as coordinating such a large group is difficult. Outside Taiwan MTR station, bus companies increased services to the cemetery and deployed staff to maintain order. Police set up barriers as a precaution, though queues for buses were not long. This man recalled that in the past, people had to wait in long, winding queues. This year, however, one bus was enough to accommodate everyone, with crowds reduced by about 70%. He suggested that many may have traveled during the Easter holiday or had already paid respects earlier. Special traffic arrangements were in place for Ching Ming. Vehicles, unless specially permitted, were barred from entering government cemeteries and columbaria. During the Tomb Sweeping Day, people burned paper replicas of goods their ancestors might need in the afterlife. To keep up with earthly trends, a retailer has expanded the range to include smartphones and gold bars, which have become popular as real-life prices soar. Jamie Liu shows us more.
Digital bundles with 5G smartphones and tablets, robot dogs and cats, and a fully automatic coffee machine. Not to mention food platters of various cuisine, including sushi and oyster. Even though they are only paper replicas, according to traditional Chinese belief, they can be burned and delivered to dwellers in the spirit world. Putting the new gadgets on the shelves, a retailer in Sai Ying Pun says they're modernized products intended to keep up with the times and attract younger customers honoring their deceased loved ones. New things in the world of the living are something that people want to share with those in the underworld, the retailer says. Whether real or replica, the trend says it is going to be golden. This year, the retailer's best-selling products are gold bars as prices in real life skyrocket. To seize on a business opportunity, the owner has launched jumbo-sized gold bricks and even gold trucks delivering the rare metal bullions, stoking great interest in customers. The retailer noted that sales in tomb offerings increase every year and expected the revenue from this year's Ching Ming Festival to rise over 10% from last year. Jamie Liu, Cable News.
Foodies staying put over Easter and Ching Ming super long weekend are in for a mouth-watering treat as the International Food Tasting Festival explodes onto the scene with its biggest edition ever, with nearly 500 stalls dishing up global flavor bombs and souvenirs. Yunnan mushroom soup, Dutch cheese, and sizzling skewers. The festival at the Convention and Exhibition Center in Wan Chai brings together food from more than 50 countries and regions, making it the largest edition yet. This woman said she bought dried salted fish and shrimp, items that can be stored at home for longer. Another man explained that he preferred the festival to traveling north, since it might be quite crowded across the border, estimating he would spend several $100s. This resident said she wanted to support local consumption, purchasing health products and snacks worth around $1,000 to $2,000. On the third day of the festival, some exhibitors reported strong sales, while organizers expect attendance over the 5 days to surpass 260,000. A first-time exhibitor noted that foot traffic was better than expected, with strong sales at lunchtime, though thinning by late afternoon. She suggested this might be linked to more people traveling or shopping across the border, but added that Hong Kongers were keen to spend, often buying immediately after tasting. The fair also features a nostalgic zone, showcasing over 30 classic snacks, toys, and decorations from the 70s and 80s. The event runs across the Easter holiday until Tuesday at 6 p.m. Tickets cost $10, with the first 1,000 on-site buyers each day able to enter for just $1. Admission is free for those aged 65 and above. NASA's Artemis II moon mission has already covered more than half the distance from Earth to the lunar orbit. But the spacecraft's toilet has once again broken down, only returning to service after an in-flight fix. Bess Luan tells us more.
4 days into the mission, Artemis II is steadily closing in on the moon. First-time spacefarer Jeremy Hansen of Canada can hardly resist sharing every awe-struck moment of the journey.
Gosh, on our first day in space, we just saw some extraordinary things. The Earth up close, and we were out there at 60,000 kilometers. We came back to within 200 kilometers of the planet, and it just felt like we were falling out of the sky back to Earth.
Hansen also revealed that he drew inspiration before liftoff from the sci-fi movie Project Hail Mary. In the first of the latest batch of lunar snapshots beamed back by the crew, the far left edge of the image even captures part of the Mare Orientale impact basin, a roughly 970 kilometers wide shadowy crater now visible to the naked eye for the first time, a signature lunar landscape long hidden from direct view on Earth. NASA has also released a series of photos from inside the Orion capsule, giving the public a rare glimpse into astronauts' daily lives in weightless conditions. Beyond exploring deep space, this crew has also unexpectedly leveled up its plumbing skill. Soon after launch, Orion's $23 million toilet began acting up yet again. The high-tech lavatory has been glitchy from the start, with astronauts reporting a clogged bowl and a persistent burning odor, forcing Mission Control to order a temporary switch to collapsible emergency devices. Engineers suspect a frozen waste line knocked out the toilet's water functions and believe that solar heating can thaw the blockage in the vent line, fully restoring the system. Bess Luan, Cable News.
In Louisiana, a car has plowed into a crowd, injuring nearly 20 people. The driver has been arrested. Online footage shows a sky blue private car stopped on a lawn, its front badly damaged as police cordoned off the area. Dozens of injured people were seen sitting on the grass awaiting assistance. The incident took place in New Iberia, Louisiana, during a loud community celebration of the Water Festival. The vehicle suddenly drove into the crowd. At least 13 of the injured were taken to the hospital, some in serious condition. The 57-year-old driver was arrested. His breathalyzer test was over the legal limit. He now faces 18 counts of negligent injury, along with charges of drink driving and dangerous driving. Onto the weather now. Mainly cloudy with a few showers, isolated thunderstorms at first, sunny intervals tomorrow afternoon. Temperatures will range between 23 and 28 degrees. Moderate to fresh south to southwesterly winds, occasionally strong on high ground. That's our news tonight. I'm Jeremy Zhu. Thanks for watching and good night.